cooperating with, I'm terrible with names. I'm so sorry. It just popped out of my head.
Ariana.
Ariana, but at the same time, it does feel like there's a little bit of resentment. And I think that happens in friendships and relationships all the time, where you're like, okay, technically this person isn't breaking the rules, but I could have really needed them. I could have really used them here today, and they weren't because they were doing something in their own interest and nobody else's.
Do you see this? Like, look, sometimes, they say don't travel with people, don't live with people, don't get into business with them. Like, do you think this will last, this business relationship?
I think it will. I think that there's going to probably be more of a silent partnership over time. The truth of the matter is, I think both of these women are actually very business savvy. And I think they're smart enough to know that there's money to be made. And so I think they're going to figure it out. But is there tension? Oh, yeah, definitely.
What do you see for Ariana? Because you mentioned that I forgot what you just said about she's sacrificing maybe friendships and relationships. Like she is in a relationship, which
Hmm.
it's not new, but it's not new. I guess you can say it's around a year old-ish,
Hmm.
you know.
Yeah, I mean, they're getting to the place. I always say, like, during the first 60 days of a relationship, you're dealing with somebody's PR person. And then after the first year, you really know, kind of where the energy's headed and who you've got on your hands. I actually do see a pretty good balance between the two of them, but it feels like, again, I think she's prioritizing her own ambitions. And I think the ego is in the driver's seat a little bit more often than it needs to be. And I do feel like before the end of 2025, I think she is going to have a rude awakening. But at the same time, I don't dislike her. I actually think that she is a very good person. And I think the universe is going to give her a little nudge to get her back on track so that she's not burning the bridges that she's starting to. But this relationship, I think it's going to hold up. It does feel a little aimless right now, though.
Interesting. They live on different coasts. I mean, that's part of it.
Yeah. Are they going to do long term? Well, you didn't ask me that question, but I'm nosy, so I'm going to look.
Okay.
Um, Yeah, I mean, I would give it maybe another year or so. I don't feel like they're going to get married or do anything long term.
This is not her long-term person.
No, I don't think so. I like him though. I'm actually seeing a lot of like emotional maturity, tolerance, kindness. It feels like he has a big difference between his public persona and his personal personality, but I actually like him as a person.
That's good. And he really is very less in the public eye than her. So that kind of tracks that type of reading from what we know about him as well.
Hmm.
What about this is less of a person, but there is a rumor that this week there's going to be a big announcement in the Bravo world. Now, this is not coming from Bravo, so there could be nothing. There could be no announcement. People have a different term of the word big, but do you see anything for like the Bravo network? Because there's rumors which are not put out by them that something big is going to be announced this week in the Bravo world.
Let's see, is it going to be this week?
Yeah, and that's
If
the
you
other
hadn't
thing.
given me, yeah, if you hadn't given me a timeline, I would say probably within the next 4 weeks would be the bubble. But sure, it's likely that it would happen within the next week, 10 days, something like that. But I do think there is going to be a big shift. And I'm actually seeing releasing unnecessary baggage that, at least from their perspective, they feel maybe holding the network back or holding some of these shows back. And I'm also seeing introducing this feels like reintroducing probably some participants as well as new, I want to say like a new show or something. Like this feels like it would be pretty big.
Do you so maybe like you said in the next 4 weeks, this baggage, like what in terms of there's a person that's holding the network back or like a show back, like a big
It's kind
name
of,
on the network that should be let go?
yeah, I think there's going to be one big one specifically that I think they may be dropping, but this feels like multiple. This kind of looks like when I read for an organization and they're doing a bit of uh, housekeeping and clearing out some of the unnecessary aspects. So I do think this is going to be but specifically one. Is this a male or a female? I want to say this would be a female. Um, I don't think she's going to be blindsided. I think she knows what's going on. But I also see exploring, listening to, I think, their fans and the people who have been following them. So I do think they're going to do some fan service with this announcement as well.
People will be happy.
I think it'll be mixed. I think they're going to soften the blow by giving the viewers something they've been wanting.
Do you get any sense, like, I don't know if this is too specific as far as this female, is she East Coast, West Coast? Like, can you hone in? Is that, or
Let's
is that too
see.
detailed?
I mean, this feels, would this be West Coast? This feels a little bit more West Coast. Um, hmm. It's kind of throwing me for a loop because I do see a lot of water, like a large body of water. Um, but technically it's coming back West Coast when I just asked that question straight up.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. Well, my mind is racing. A woman West Coast, I have ideas, but that's what about like a big announcement? You said something about a new show. You think that's possible that they could possibly announce a new show?
Yeah, I mean, this feels like something entirely new or such a huge change that it really gives an entire series like a facelift, and revamping. It may even be something, I don't know if they would announce this because I don't know how things work, but it may also be a change in either production or director, like what's happening behind the scenes to change the way that they're approaching the show. But it actually does look like a very positive. I have a feeling that that aspect of it is going to be something that people are not real open to at first, but then once it's executed, they're going to be very happy with.
Interesting. Well, behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, there's Andy Cohen. He runs the network. There's talk all the time about maybe whether it's his time for a new role. As far as changing like something existing, there's Real Housewives of New Jersey, which that could be just changed altogether. This we don't know what's going to happen with that particular franchise, and it is a big franchise that maybe they'll be rebooting it or there's big changes there. And as far as a new show, there still seems to be this rumor out there that the Real Housewives of Rhode Island, which is like they have like Beverly Hills and they have like different franchises that maybe they're going to announce a new Housewives franchise. So all of that does track specifically, especially if we're talking about an existing show. New Jersey's been off the air for a really long time. There might be some look, people like you
Hmm.
said. I mean, that tracks for that because people, no matter what they do, there's two main characters. One's Melissa, one's Teresa.
Hmm.
Probably getting rid of one, and you're gonna make half the people thrilled, and the other half are gonna be angry. Isn't that always the case in life very often?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I
exactly.
believe that that is what is going to happen here too. So that's all very interesting. Let's speak about there's a woman whose name is Lisa Vanderpump.
Mhm.
Before I give you any specifics, what do you feel about this woman, Lisa Vanderpump? What are your cards telling you?
Let's see.
Okay.
I mean, immediately her energy is very strong. So let's look at the cards.
Yeah. Let's look at the
Let's see.
cards.
Oh, okay.